Okay, this one is for you, dear Cancer. That's you over here. This is Tarot Illumination. This is your mini love and relationship report, kind of a generic thing for October 2018. You know the drill already. You've done this many times before. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising, the very dominant aspects, and reinterpret, especially if they're all different. Different sun, different moon, different rising, and then squash it all together into one story that works for you. Also, it can help to watch, do the cross watch thing for significant others and reinterpret again. It adds more, let's say, understanding, layers of understanding. Also, if you really want to get into it, you can cross-reference to the monthly journey reports. That's a whole other playlist. It's more of a broad spectrum spiritual journey thing. It's all about you, not the relationship. Okay? So actually, before we get into it, let me show you the links here. I'll just do that for, because I have to. So keep the channel going. Tarot Illumination membership. Yay! It's a new thing. Click the button up there or check the links below. Read all about it. Yay! Join up. Personal readings. First Friday's group healing event. Yay! This will be private with Tarot Illumination in person. Shopping, books, satin silk scarf. Check out the links below. They're all down there. Okay, check it out. Thank you so much. Next, let's go, while we're here, let's look at the calendar moments. I want to cherry pick these for the whole month. Here we go. For you, Cancer, it's kind of important. Pluto goes direct. You might not feel it overtly, but it's a huge shift again in your seventh house of one-on-one relationship. Things might feel as though they're moving forward finally after months of stagnation. Okay, October the 6th, Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio. Okay, so we'll talk about that. October 8th, the new moon in Libra. Could be uncomfortable for you, okay, because the Libra is typically hard square to Cancer. 10th to 12th, Scorpio stellium. So very strong energy for you in your fifth house, okay? We'll talk about that. October 24th, full moon in Scorpio Taurus, like the Taurus moon with the Scorpio sun. So the next one is the October 26th, huge stellium energy at maximum, okay? So we've got that. Let's have a look at this. Actually, let me just, okay, we'll get back to the cards in just a moment. Please hang in, please bear with me. So for you, Cancer, we've pulled out a couple of things. This is the generic Astro-doodle from Tarot Illumination for everybody. But for you, Cancer, we're going to flip it so it looks like this. This is how it is for you, with Cancer on the horizon, okay? So the key elements from the Tarot Illumination perspective in a love and relationship report like this is all of the Scorpio stellium up here in your fifth house of true love, romance, creative self-expression, the happy place, the fun, literally the fun and love of romance, true romance. Also, very long-term ongoing transits with Pluto and Saturn over here in your seventh house, okay? So there you go. There's all this other stuff too, but I'm going to focus on this and this, all right? So here we go. Let's go straight into it. I made a few Astro-doodle notes here. The Scorpio stellium in your fifth house of true love. Okay, what does that mean? It's, from the Tarot Illumination perspective, it's a huge, huge opportunity. Jupiter's there in Scorpio, lit up and amplified by the sun. Mercury's there, clearing communications, and Venus is there, but it is going to retrograde for a while. So there's a lot of chance for growth, reevaluation, increasing the value, going deeper into intimacy, in love, in a deep loving relationship, going to the depths of your soul, almost like deep sea diving, where you can lose your bearings, where you get that sense of deep soul merger, where you don't have a choice except to trust each other, okay? And find out what you discover at that time. It's a very powerful experience, event, transit, so you might as well take advantage of it. It's very transformational. It's very good for transformational healing. And it can also indicate a soulmate return type of situation, okay? Over here, think about that. If there's something that happens for you at the deep soulmate level in love, okay? The next thing over here, of course, is the ongoing thing. We should talk about this every month for years, okay? Pluto and Saturn grinding through your seventh house of marriage, the one-on-one axis, okay? So it's a very very long, slow transit, but it's about irreversible deep changes, okay? It's actually kind of stabilizing. It might be uncomfortable having to go through these processes, but it's the whole idea with the Saturn in Capricorn there is that it's very stabilizing and puts a lot of reality check type of energy in place. So it's grounding. It has a chance, it gives you a chance to manifest something that actually works for the long term and durability. And you would feel that coming at you in the context of a very significant one-on-one relationship through the other. You will be surprised what happens as long as you take the long, slow approach. Okay, let's have a look. Let's go to the cards. Thanks for your patience. I know that went on for a long time. So about the Libra new moon, okay? It's happening in your fourth house, home and family. So you might feel as though there's significant changes and endings and beginnings there, okay? Please see it from the positive. See this as a chance to grow and improve your relationships at the foundation in your home, okay? With which is where a lot of love and relationship dynamics occur anyway. All right, so here we go. Cards were all shuffled in advance. This is what we do all the time. And then eventually we get to record. We go to the last second so that you're a witness. We're going to use the Tarot Illumination Crucible spread on the understanding that there's you, Cancer, the self, and a significant other chosen, and a third dynamic, third entity, a living thing of its own, which has its own life and mission and purpose and energy, the relationship itself. And that's what we think of as the crucible. The crucible is a very powerful, strong structure, hopefully, if it's built properly, that can endure all the stresses of relationship as we intimate and separate. Please, Cancer, invite your invisible friends, your angels, bring them in with you, and we'll do this, okay? Make it a team effort. They like to be invited. Cards are cut. Cards are shuffled. Bless the cards. Bless the deck. Bless you, Cancer. Bless Tarot Illumination. Bless all the gadgets and the electricity and the light. Okay, here we go. What are you radiating? Okay, Cancer, think of yourself as a transmitter, as a transceiver. You're always transmitting and receiving energy. Let's think of it in the context of love. What are they radiating? Okay, what are you radiating deep down from in your heart and soul? What are they radiating deep down from heart and soul? What is the nature of the relationship itself here at the very foundation? Look at this. This is the crucible. This is the bowl. If you could see it from the top, it would look like a bowl. And you guys would be inside that bowl, conducting your relationship, investing in the relationship, communicating, being intimate, deeply intimate and loving, romantic, and separating, allowing yourself to be you, allowing them to be themselves, and yet you are in relationship on an unending journey of intimacy and separation. Over here, prospects and momentum. What does that look like? Think of this as a living organism, and you are the owner and the manager, like a plant, okay? So it blossoms and grows, okay? Over here, circumstantial environmental energies that are out there, so to speak, and kind of influence things. Maybe it's what heaven wants you to know. Think of it as weather. So you have the Three of Cups. My feeling is that this is very simple, joyful energy that's around you right now. I think it's very much to do with the Scorpio stellium in your fifth house of true love, where it could be very intensely delicious and satisfying for you at the soul level, especially if the relationship has the hallmarks of a soulmate relationship, okay? So it's a chance for you guys to really celebrate who you are and what you have in this relationship. And in some ways, it looks good enough that what you guys do together, male or female, however your relationship is built, it kind of radiates outward. It's like it's so potentially luscious for you at the deep soul transformational healing that it's almost like you want to dive into this healing pool. And like a lot of people are scared of these processes, but you guys are like, let's go for it. Sploosh. It's like people when they go to London or something crazy or some exotic vacation and they see a beautiful pool and waterfalls and they think, you know what? This is scary, but it looks so delicious. Let's just do it. Sploosh, that kind of thing. You go for it. The current is so strong that it's almost like you can't resist it. So you just go for it. So I like the feel of that. And that's also good for everyone else around you. It's almost like that sploosh effect that fountain effect where you're creating that moment. It's like cracking open a bottle of champagne and everyone else gets to enjoy it too. Like you can spread it around. It's almost like having a Cancer love party, okay? To celebrate your love, however that looks. What are you radiating? Okay. So with the Five of Cups here, there might be like a sensation to do. I think it's very much to do with this. Okay. The the big Scorpio stellium here is going to take you very, very deep, and you're going to realize everything that you're losing, everything that you've lost in the past that's irrecoverable, irretrievable, and it's gone. It's like history forever. And that could be very, very painful in some ways. It happens in love and relationships. But the beauty is that it's happening in the context of what I would think of love. It's very intense. And so if it's like you, Cancer, have a lot of very deeply buried pain and suffering, grief and sorrow that you've been carrying for a long time, knowing that you've got the little Two of Cups over here sitting on the side waiting for you, I think this is very good. This is very much to do with the healing pool, the story idea of jumping into this healing pool where you get, it's almost like you get to cry. You get to cry to yourself. You get to cry with the significant other. They can be there for you. They can allow you to be in your pain and no one's judging you. And it's very, very, very deeply healing to be able to live through that. It can also be very, very satisfying to reunite with a soulmate and you live through the traumatic energy and feelings of all the loss and separation that you've had to endure for perhaps lifetimes. And it all comes flooding back like a huge, like multi-layered memory. But it's in some ways very beautiful because it opens a door to new love, okay? New relationships. Think of the Libra new moon happening in the foundations of your life, okay? So please don't be scared of this. I know some people are very scared of this card because it can indicate so much pain, so much grief, and so much sorrow. But I see this as a release and very, very healing. All right, Cancer? Over here, what are they radiating? Okay. With the Hierophant, it feels to me that they are in a place where it's like they're having to like completely reinterpret their life in the context of this relationship because they don't have a choice. They basically, whatever they believe is or was the code of life, their book of life. Some people think of it as Qurans or Bibles or, self-help books or all the positive conditioning that you've ever brought into your life. All of that is changing. My feeling is that this energy of the Hierophant is coming up into full exposure and light where, again, like beginnings and endings. If you put the relationship over here, put the Libra new moon over here, like the beginning and the endings, like a whole year cycle. Okay, you come around, now you're starting again. You're realizing love and home and relationship as you've known it, Cancer, is over. And a whole new chapter is beginning. And it includes the significant other. And for the significant other, it would include having to completely rewrite their code of life from their perspective too, in the context of this relationship. So it might be uncomfortable for them. It could also be very profound, very, very serious, because this could indicate vows, an indication that they would be willing to consider discussing or entertaining the idea of vows, dedicated vows, written vows of who are we, what are we doing, what's actually happening here. We need to get this defined and defined properly, and we need to like build a relationship according to the key ingredients of what really counts in a relationship. Like make the vows, like we vow to treasure each other. Key energies we vow to admire and express in the relationship would be kindness, consideration, compassion, respect, good listening, good understanding, uh, respect for individuality and individual freedom, honesty and truth, things like that. I'm not, things that are like technically nebulous, but they're very, very valuable key ingredients on the checklist, or the top 10 most important things in the new code of life for the significant other, and how that affects you, how it affects the relationship. So it looks kind of profound. So you might be relating, again, that might be also to do with the seventh house energy over here, where the marriage dynamic, okay, as exemplified by the Hierophant, where it becomes very formalized, the whole idea of formalizing the relationship, creating vows, uh, writing your own vows. Some people do that, so you don't have to have like a generic package that just came from some, you know, marriage package deal company or whatever. You're creating your own vows. Well, they're creating vows in a way that would be appropriate for them, and solidifying and stabilizing things and transforming things in a way that would work for the relationship. So they're taking you into account. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's move on. What is radiating deep down? Okay. With the Queen of Wands here, my feeling is that despite this, despite the intrepidation, despite like the intense energy and pressure to transform and to heal in love over here, and again over here, Pluto, Capricorn, Saturn, intense pressure to change, transform, get your act together, reality checks, do what works, stop doing anything that does not work, that is unhealthy, allow for the soulmate dynamics to occur, allow for the new love to blossom. So in some ways, with the Queen of Wands, it feels to me like you, Cancer, get it deep down inside that what really, really counts is like just the will to live. That's how I'm looking at it. The desire to live through intense, deep, profound, long-term transformational changes, irreversible changes. And it can be very scary. It can be very frightening because you'd be leaving behind anything and everything that you know that doesn't work, or that did work but is no longer part of your life journey going forward. So it does require a lot of courage and like self-confidence and the willingness to be bright and shiny anyway. Okay, I'm going to refer a little bit to the Leo North Node here for everybody, because well, that occurs for all of us, but it's still under a lot of pressure here, especially towards the end of the month when we have the Scorpio Taurus axis lit up at the full moon, okay, over here, October 24th. That's actually very nice and juicy for you. Mars in Aquarius over here disrupting the 8th house of intimacy. All of that is putting a lot of pressure on your second house of value and values in relationship, new beginnings, where because that's where Leo lies for you. And to me, it looks like it's a tremendous amount of pressure to be your most radiant, courageous, noble, esteemed, elected, appreciated, and understood self, your shiniest self, in terms of the value that you like attribute to yourself and that you attribute to a significant other, and do that anyway. Like, live in your courage anyway, no matter how much pressure or intensity or discomfort you might feel in your day-to-day waking life. Deep down, you know you have the courage, you have the passion and drive to do this, and you have to live up to that. Everybody has to live up to the Leo North Node pressure right now to be our most awesome selves in that regard, to that point in your life. Same for you, okay? So don't be scared, Cancer. Don't be scared. It just looks like an intensification and clarification of an ongoing relationship dynamic, which is going through huge transformational shifts at the level of tectonic plates. Okay, what about them deep at the core? King of Cups. Wow. To me, this looks like a beautiful match. Something absolutely gorgeous is happening here. I feel like you are relating, Cancer, with someone who really, really gets you, and they're doing everything that they do to have to be the best that they can to function in a very significant relationship, which has hallmarks of soulmate relationship dynamics, okay? So they're doing the best of it, and it might be very tumultuous for them too, because the knowing that they have to completely rewrite the structure and codes of their life to account for this marriage. It requires immense emotional maturity and fortitude at their very core. And it looks like they're doing it. They are absolutely determined to prevail no matter what, no matter how challenging things might be. They are absolutely on board with you, Cancer. Uh, you might not notice it immediately, but I think deep down at the soul level, I think it is there. And it could be very uncomfortable for them as well, in the same ways that it could be uncomfortable for you. But they are just as determined as you are and know that they have to be very mature in themselves, deep at the soul level, just like you have to be very mature at the deep soul level in order for this to manifest at all. So I'm actually very happy to see this. Okay, let's have a look at the core here. Okay, the Knight of Wands. So what can happen is, like, you know how love breeds love, inspiration breeds inspiration, goodness breeds goodness. There's a lot to celebrate here. Okay, so, despite, let's say, leaving so much behind, think about where you're heading and where you're going. This is truly something to celebrate. It might be very scary. Perhaps you, Cancer, have never dealt with a relationship of this caliber before, where everything is becoming formalized and much more substantial than you're used to. And so it feels almost, it's not 100%, but it does feel like there's a lot of, I would almost say, fated momentum here, especially with the soulmate type of energy, which is driving the relationship. And it brings the relationship itself like into its light, into its courage. So in other words, you've got something. You, Cancer, have got something with someone over here who gets it and they're doing their part. And that can trigger like the passion and the desire and the excitement and the courage to go forward, no matter how challenging this might be. So this looks to me, this is like showing hallmarks of a relationship, the crucible, the structure of the relationship that is able, it's almost exciting. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is actually so cool. Yes, the transformational processes, all that Scorpio stuff, all that Pluto stuff, that's heavy duty transformational energy. It's almost like, as scary as it is, this is what you really want, Cancer. A truly, deeply loving relationship. As it slowly manifests and turns back into a little Two of Cups, as you grow and mature and face forward and live through this journey, it is a ticking clock. Remember, time is ticking on. Eventually, this will all fizzle out and stuff will move into Sagittarius and then into Capricorn. Starting January 29, we've got all the Cancer Capricorn eclipses happening, and that's going to be right on your axis of marriage, one-on-one relationship, okay? Okay, so think about that. Think long term. I know this is just a little one monthly, you know, sketch kind of thing, but this to me feels like it has long term implications for you, Cancer. It's exciting, it's invigorating, it's scary. It's like doing that plunge into the pool, sploosh. Yeah, it's scary, but oh my gosh, it looks really good for you. Let's have a look. Prospects. Okay. So with the Page of Swords here, to me this looks like it's going to bring stark awakenings and understandings. I didn't mention any of this in the doodle notes up till now, but I think this might be to do with the radical awakenings that are happening between Mars and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus right now. This is very, very volatile energy, and it's happening up here in your 8th house of intimacy. Okay, and it's simultaneously being hard squared through the whole journey through the Scorpio stellium about going deep into intimacy here. So my feeling is that like the flow here, the energy will take the relationship to a point of realization that this is very liberating for you, Cancer, and liberating for the other. Even if it looks like there are vows or marriage vows or a formalization of the relationship, it's actually very liberating. It's very exciting, and it brings, it's like, it's almost like going deep into the unknown. You would be facing things that you've never faced before. Things are going to be sparked and awakened, and almost like shock and awe. The energy of miracles happening here. The great liberation. Mars in Aquarius, let's say, equates to Page of Swords here, where the Page of Swords realize it's it's an amazing thing when you cut to the truth and you slash away and cut away the things that are no longer true, and all you're dealing with is truth. It's very, very satisfying to have a very crystal clear relationship where both parties know each other at the soul level. Okay, that's kind of what I'm sensing here, and it's a rare chance that this ever happens, and it means you have to go through the depths of the very, very depths to come out into this. I see this as very vitalizing and revitalizing for you, Cancer, and for the significant other. It looks like this is very supportive for you. It looks like it's almost like a shaky thing, like, oh my gosh, this is exactly happening. We should be so excited. Yes, I'm going to do it. You jump first. No, no, you jump first. No, no, I can't do it. I'm scared. Let's just do it together. Wow, that's so cool. And you come back to the surface like one of those romantic, you know, crazy movies, and you're both naked in a love pool somewhere in Hawaii or the South Pacific, and you're splooshing around and you see everything completely differently, and your eyes twinkle and you look at each other like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Sorry, I'm trivializing the reading a bit here, but I wanted to get you in the positive flow. I see this as a beautiful thing. All right, thank you so much, Cancer. All the best. Thanks for choosing Terra Illumination. Hold on. Let me put this here. You can reinterpret however you want. Okay, bye-bye.